season. What have you seen from him thus far that led you to believe that would be the right fit? And now that he's at linebacker, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I think his size. We felt like that he had the length and the frame to be able to put on the good weight as he grows. But obviously, right now he's already close to 220 pounds. As a safety, which is it's a big old safety. And I've in my past I've always had a strong inclination to take safeties and move them to backer, just because you get the athleticism that you're looking for, the ability to play in space, the way the game is played now. And the guys that have the frame and ability to do that, sometimes you don't know until you get them on campus how they're going to respond and stuff. So we just felt like that would allow him to be able to have a chance to help us. We've had some injuries at that position. We've had some guys that we just need to step up. So to me, I feel like that he's actually transitioned really, really well. More natural there than I would have thought. Sometimes you don't know how they're going to be in the box, how physical they're going to be with taking on blockers. Uses his hands extremely well. Obviously now he's become a very athletic linebacker, but with a big frame. So to me, I feel like he's got a great future there. I'm excited we made the move. He is as well, and I think he sees it's a great opportunity for him to be able to get on the field sooner. And I feel like he's going to be able to, as the season progresses, really, help us in that area.
Tom, when you have like two safeties plus the hybrid guy on the field, the two linebackers, how is their job different than it would be if it was a normal 4-3?
Yeah, I would say that part is not different. Basically the biggest change is having that body type, in your look, that
safety body type.
Safety body type, yeah, at the line position. But as far as the Mike and the Will, there's a lot of carryovers, and so we can actually do a lot of things where we'll sub out a Sam for that line position and use a lot of the same concepts. So it really doesn't change for the two guys that are either in the box. One thing I think it does do, though, it kind of allows them to stay in the box, and be able to have less moving parts, if that makes sense, in regards to what the offense may do to you. So I feel like that, and the way I coach the backers is, it's guys, you have certain things that you do to play in the box and you play out of the box. There's still going to be times when, especially the Will, he'll be out of the box as well. So, but the Mike is pretty much the guy's going to stay in that area. So not near as many differences as you might think. And we try to keep a lot of carryover so we can do multiple things with both packages and feel really good about it.
How does having Abdul and his style on the other end impact Nittany?
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. Anytime you have guys with various skill sets, complement each other, guys that they have to deal with on both sides, affects the ability for them not to be able to, hey, I'm just going to slide the protection to one guy. That's what's obviously going to give that other guy opportunity. So I think the complement is huge, and I think that those two guys are going to play well off each other without question, and we need them to, there's no doubt about it. So, but I think they're both special players, and expect big things from them.
Tom, about Nittany specifically, what did you want to see from him this fall camp, and do you feel like you've seen that so far?
I think the biggest thing is when you're a year older and, you want to elevate your game, and there's when you have a really good season one year, it doesn't mean that you just got to do the exact same thing so I can just try to be the same. No, I want to be better, and I think that's where we're trying to do, is just get to the point where you feel like that, hey, you're progressing as a player. To me, every year you got things you need to work on, and to me that's what he has had, and that's what we've been focusing on. And to me, I think he's done a really good job for us as well. I think the bottom line is it's all about making plays on game day, and that position for us is huge. And but his size is really one of his strengths without question. I mean, he's a tough matchup on all tight ends in the Big Ten, and that needs to be the case. So I want him to be disruptive, and I want him to be just absolutely a guy that they have to feel like that they got to do something to handle, schematically, take him out.
Coach, what has Tony Rojas shown you through training camp?
Just great consistency. I think all his hard work this offseason is showing up. His size, his speed, the ability for him to make plays. He flashes, he shows up, and I think that's a big part. I mean, backers got to be that way. They got to be productive. They got to lead. I think he's still working on his growth in that area, but I think it also takes time. Kobe's really kind of taken over that role on Tom, and I think that he's able to get in there with those guys and just focus on doing his job, which is fine, and he's still young, So, but you definitely see him flash, make, whether it's pressures on the quarterback or plays in space. But to me, it's about his athleticism and his speed is what's going to be his biggest strength.
How would you describe the leadership of Don DeLuca, and why do you think that it's important for him to still be a captain?
Yeah, it's just an awesome thing to see him be rewarded for that because he's so respected by his teammates. It's his consistent work ethic, his consistent effort, and how he practices his attention to detail. He's so smart, man. He's got such a great football IQ. He's a really good football player, and no matter where he could play all three of our linebacker spots, that's tough to say, even both mentally and physically. And he's bigger than he's ever been, and I just think that his consistency and his ability to not allow anybody around him to settle for anything less than their best. He holds them accountable. And I think that's a hard thing to do, but it's a quality of a great leader.
How has Tamir picked up Will?
Yeah, I tell you what, Tamir is a guy that I feel like has really flashed. He has got great speed. I think he's learning the defense really, really well. I think he's going to be a guy that can play really, in my mind, he's a three-position guy, because of his length and his size. And I think he's got a good football IQ, and I think he cares a whole bunch. And so he's picking it up well. I think he's going to be able to be a guy. We've challenged all of our guys to play at least two positions, and a couple of them we've asked them to learn three. And so, but like I said, once you learn in the box, out of the box, that's kind of really the two things that kind of stick out to me. If you can do that, you can pretty much play all three. So, but Tamir's he's a really talented player that I see him. He's playing his best football right now.
What made KJ a deserving captain?
Wow, I mean, it's the standard he places upon himself. He's relentless. I mean, it was obvious to the whole team that he's the guy that deserved to be in one of those spots, and I think the votes reflected over that. And but it's constant. He's so hard on himself. He's so such a perfectionist in everything. Sometimes to a fault, which is a good thing because I think that's often you just have to help him be able to flush the mistake and not dwell on it. But at the same time, I feel like he's really he elevates everybody around him. I think that's what to me is what great leaders do, what great players do. And it doesn't matter. It's in the weight room, during jog-throughs, during practice, in the locker room. He's earned that respect, and I think I know I said it before. His preparation and the way he goes about his business is as good as I've seen.
Tom, the team posted a video the other day. It said, "Grind here, look at camp, shine here, Beaver Stadium sold out." That mindset of the more that you hustle here, the more that you grind, when kind of nobody's watching, how much do you embrace that or enjoy that kind of?
Love it. I mean, I call it dirty hard work in the dark, and I think it's you got to be willing to do that. When no one's watching over the summer, practices, before practice, or in the morning when no one else is around, guys coming in here doing extra work. To me, that's what makes this program what it is. That's that blue collar work ethic. It's just that toughness, that grit, that fight. I think that's what makes this place special. And to me, that's we're playing on the national stage every week, so I think it's pretty easy to make that correlation to what's going to happen when you do. Get a chance to be seen, and the whole world's watching. So I do feel like that the guys have bought into that, and they recognize that. When they're doing all that work with each other and by themselves and whatever they're doing on their own, and when they're working with the team, I mean, it's what has to be done in order to have that opportunity to shine when it counts the most.
Has Alonzo Ford changed your perception of the depth of the defensive
There's no
battles?
question. I mean, he's a guy that honestly I wasn't, because of the injury. I know we had watched him when he was at ODU, where I was at previously, and really liked him. But then the injury was one of those where the guy from that position, it's hard to know how he's going to come back. So I would say a very pleasant surprise, and he's playing at a high level right now, and he's going to definitely be in the rotation, and really excited about him. And to me, he helps you solidify a group where you wanted to have strength there, but he's a big guy that there's no question in my mind is going to give us very, very meaningful snaps.
Have you ever had five
No.
deep?
No, I haven't, but you're going to need them all. I'm telling you, I'm in this league, in this kind of season, the length that we're going to have, you're going to need them all.
Is there speaking to the defensive tackles, is there almost a bit of a strategic move to have guys that are a little bit lighter around that 280, 285, and then guys that are, 300?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, it's we would favor the twitch over the mass. Now if you get both, that's a great thing. So it's hard to get that. Both that size, the 300 plus, and the twitch, and we would definitely, favor the twitch first, because of what we do schematically, and I'm all into that, bought into that, I believe in that. So to me, that's kind of where you see those body types there. You try to get them to the 290 at least range. If you're 280, 285, that's solid. But you like to get closer to 290 if you can. But at the same time, as long as they're strong and can hold point and still be able to have the lateral quickness and the movement that we want, then they can be very effective in our defense. And so to me, the movement is a big part of what we do, and I think that's why you see guys that more favor that kind of weight and range than they do the bigger ones.
James had mentioned earlier in camp that one of the things that he liked last year, Manny Diaz was able to play with a lot more man coverage and take away the easy access throws against soft coverages. How hard is that, or how easy is that to transition a part of a defense in terms of like changing the percentages that you're calling something?
Yeah, I think you have to be careful with that, and it really kind of depends on once you're with them and you've kind of figured out what our strengths are, and I'm a huge believer in you take away easy access throws without question. When I was working with the offensive side of the ball as a head coach, that was the first thing we look for. When you're evaluating an opponent, is where are the access throws we're going to be able to take based on their structure that they have. So and teams that didn't give it to you in that way was always more challenging, So, but at the same time, you also have to have a mixture, I believe, to be able to play a little bit of, several different concepts to be able to allow yourself to be more versatile in that. So, to me, it just depends on, the strength of your guys, the quality of your guys up front, and the ability for them to be able to do multiple skill sets of techniques that we want to be able to do in our defense. So, we're going to play to our strengths, and we're figuring that out here as we go every single week.
Have you sorted out the fourth safety and fifth safety? Like, do you kind of know?
Yeah, we're getting closer. Yeah, we're very, very, very close to that. So it's still, I'd say it's once we get into game week next week, we'll feel better about that. But yeah, we're getting closer to that. That's awesome.
Do you get joy from designing defenses? I'm thinking specifically in coverage. It seems like at times there's moments where things happen and it seems like that's something specific or intentional. So I guess how much do you enjoy the process of designing plays for defense?
Oh, there's no question. That's what excites me, watching film and trying to figure those things out. And, there's the balance between doing all those things and what can you guys execute, So a lot of things look great on paper, they're good on the board, but you got to be able to execute them, So, but yeah, to me, it's all about causing indecision with the guy under center. That's what everything is about, and making him have to pat the ball one or two extra times, and make him have to question what he's seeing pre-snap, So trying to do a good job of that. That's easier said than done sometimes, but yeah, to me, that's kind of the fun part of being a DC is just trying to game plan and scheme and trying to figure out a way to get that extra number.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate you guys.